Devil Fruit Awakenings. If you haven't gotten through Impel Down and you don't want what that means spoiled, I have no idea why you clicked this video. Go away. I'm just going to assume that you've at least made it through Impel Down or you don't care. I'll get into some more details later behind spoiler warnings, but the gist of it is that when you've trained enough with your fruit, you will unlock a greater power. Its true potential. Some have described awakening as the time at which the user's mind and body catches up to their powers. Just look at these fine specimens. Bigger, better, faster, stronger, just gorgeous. Now here's a fun fact that you might think is a spoiler, but really isn't. That's all the warning you're going to get here, because if I gave you any more, it would be more of a spoiler. We have never seen the awakening of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. In fact, I am quite confident that we will never see the awakening of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Not last week when this video was originally going to go up. Not ever. Will I remember to go into more depth about that later? Who knows? On that note, it was long thought that maybe only zones could be awakened. I mean, the term awakening seems to support that idea. The spirit of the beast waking up. But of course, it's fun to speculate. So let's start the dumb way by speculating about the category we know the least about. We have never seen any confirmed awakened Logias, but many people, myself included, think that awakened Logias affect the local weather, potentially even permanently altering the climate. The Grand Line is full of islands with crazy climates, and that could be why we've never really seen a Logia use their awakening, or a Logia user use their awakening. It's not just a matter of too much collateral damage in a series all about groups fighting groups, but permanent collateral damage. Nah, that's some one-on-one main characters fighting on an uninhabited island kind of behavior. The only Logia user I could see using his awakening, or maybe two but we haven't really seen much of the other, is our favorite Zappy Boy. And maybe he did. And maybe he was about to again. And we may have even seen the location where he did previously. Okay, maybe not. Probably not. Considering Birka was apparently in the southeast, and the New World is in the northern hemisphere, north of the West Blue. But the fact that some islands stay the same climate year-round is odd. And what's the first summer island we visit? An extreme summer island that could have been the result of an awakened sand and or fire user. And what characters were we introduced to in Arabasta? What devil fruits were we introduced to in Arabasta? That's right, the sand and fire Logia users. Similarly, who do we see at this crazy island? That's right, the grandmother of Amazon, keeper of Heaven's Gate, which was near the place we met Zappy Boy. She worked for him. Oh, and that mystery lady was really just there to interact with someone who was most likely a Birkin. You know, Eneru's race. Also, Pokeball Island. Magma and coal. Baboom. And now let's go down the alphabet. After Logia comes Paramecia. Paramecia Awakenings. I guess I'll put a minor spoiler warning for Dressrosa here. Could that be because we learned that they do or don't exist? Who knows? Okay, now that we've tried to undo the spoiler that the spoiler warning itself was, yes, Paramecia Awakenings are a thing. And according to Road to Laughtale, which are official supplements written by Oda, Paramecia Awakenings allow the user to also affect their surroundings. But unless the ability is mastered, using an awakening drains a significant amount of stamina. For the most part, that seems to hold true, so if we were to see an awakened Gomu Gomu no Mi, it would probably just let the user make other things rubbery. However, even ignoring the fact that this implies that either Foxy is awakened, or would be able to generate neuroma photons from other objects, there are some weird Paramecias. Maybe she's already awakened, but what would her awakening be? And are you trying to tell me that Streisand is awakened? And what about Brook? Would his ability let him revive? Maybe. Probably shouldn't click on that unless you're pretty much caught up, you know, at the time of recording this through Onigashima. Now time for some mid-Onigashima spoilers. click away, or maybe skip ahead. Up to you. You might be thinking that Law's fruit would be one of these weird ones, which I'll be honest, it might still be. I don't really remember him ever changing the shape of items in his rooms, but maybe he has, like, extended his sword to chop up people in especially large rooms. But other than that, it really is just his normal power being used on other objects. All of his fancy abilities can only be used within the confines of a room, besides opening the room itself, of course. He kinda can't do that in a room. And he normally needs to center the room on himself, using the ability on himself. All he does with his awakening is opens a remote room, or our room. The K room is just a remote room opened around his big old knife. Oh no, I have forgotten to explain the reason I don't think we'll ever see the awakening of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Anyways, on the zones. Zones were the first awakenings we ever saw, but we really didn't see any more about them since they were first introduced all the way up until where the anime currently is as of recording this. They are what could be argued to be a true awakening. The beast within the fruit awakening and replacing the will of the user, granting them much more strength, durability, and regeneration. And some impressive abs at the expense of, the ability to really think. For all of these reasons, many believe Chopper's monster point to be a forced awakening. You know what, let's just stick a spoiler warning here because last week's episode to talk about Mythical Zoan Awakenings. Luffy's fighting a powerful Mythical Zone user after all. But before talking about that fight, back to the whole thing with Chopper, which I think might actually be a Mythical Zone. He gains control of his monster point. That could have been hinting towards the nature of a true Zoan Awakening, when you maintain your own will during the transformation. Which of course brings me to the reason we will probably never see the awakening of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. We've never seen the Gomu Gomu no Mi. It might not even exist. Luffy's fruit is a mythical zone, the Hito Hito no Mi, model sun god Nika. So besides retaining your mind, while gaining all of the benefits of an awakened zone, don't forget that mythical zones tend to come with a Paramecia-like power bundled in, and those seem to awaken just as normal Paramecia abilities do. In Luffy's case, his Toon Force, which he has had from the beginning, now affects his surroundings. Now for the last spoiler warning of the video, for Egghead. That divine ribbon Luffy gets, not because it's a god fruit, no. All true awakened zones seem to get it, and I wonder if that translates to other awakenings as well. Not necessarily as a smoky ribbon, but at least as some neck decoration. Think about the confirmed awakenings. The characters all seem to have some kind of neck decoration or flames, as well as do many who probably are awakened, but we haven't gotten confirmation. The reason I mention the flames is Kaido probably was awakened, and he has the flame-like hair and spines that true awakenings seem to have, while young Momo had normal spines, but those became flame-like when he was matured 20 years. Dun dun! I really hope that the things actually happened in last week's episode now, not just tonight's episode, but maybe tonight's episode too. I don't know how the anime is going to handle it, because I already made that mistake previously, the week before last. That was unfortunate.